Local programming on KRWG made possible in part by viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to Fronteras, a Changing America. I'm Edmundo Resendez. Jillian Couvert is a computer programmer at Edmundo High School who enjoys hacking but does not enjoy being told what she should and shouldn't do.
Okay.
Jillian Couvert, a member of the new computer science class at Edmundo High School, is one of 4 girls participating in the 36-student class.
I really enjoy the diversity in the class, and the things that we learn is like not all one subject. The other day we learned about hacking, and we were learning about like HTML and different languages that you can use in coding, so it's not like all one thing, it's like a general topic.
The class's teacher, Dennis Thompson, is attempting to interest more female students, but hasn't been very successful.
When I was first programming at Southern California Edison, I would say probably half our programmers were women. I think they have an innate kind of analytical mind. They're methodical, and I think they make good programmers. And so it's amazing to me now that that has changed, that so few women are in the field. So I'm glad Jillian and the other girls in this class are here, giving this a shot.
I don't think about, oh, guys should only do this, guys should only do that, girls should only do this. Like, for me, it's like, if I want to do it, I'm going to do it.
The American Association of University Women has been empowering women as individuals and as a community since 1881. For more than 130 years, they have worked together as a national grassroots organization to improve the lives of millions of women and their families. AAUW believes that pay equity and equal opportunity are a matter of simple fairness. AAUW is a leader in the fight to end wage discrimination and open doors for women in the workplace. Ann McCullough is a coordinator with Girls Can in Las Cruces. She is our guest today to discuss opportunities for young girls in our community through the American Association of University Women chapter in Las Cruces. Ann, welcome to Fronteras, a Changing America.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
What a fun project to be involved in. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you got involved with AUW and Girls Can.
Well, I was still working at the Sun News.
The Las Cruces Sun News?
When a friend said, why don't you just come to Girls Can and take some pictures? Well, I'm not a photographer, but I did. And just going to some of the workshops and taking photos and seeing the enthusiasm of the girls hooked me. And then I went back year after year and volunteered. Then when I retired, I joined AAUW and I became the coordinator of Girls Can.
Let's talk about AAUW. What is AAUW?
It stands for American Association of University Women. It actually started, as you said, 130 years ago as kind of a union for women faculty and staff members of universities. And 130 years ago, there weren't many women there. And so they were, at that time, concerned about fairness and equal employment and all of those things. Since its beginning, it has broadened to include all kinds of programs, including a STEM program that is now in New Mexico called Tech Trek. That's a statewide program, and girls have to be interviewed and have to be recommended by their math or science teacher in 7th grade in order to attend the statewide program the summer before their 8th grade.
Oh,
and there are, this year, it's at Socorro Tech and New Mexico Tech in Socorro, and there will be 60 girls in Tech Trek. But Girls Can is for every girl in 6th grade in the whole county.
Let's talk about Girls Can. It's been around for 23 years in our community. How did this program first come to be, and what is its purpose?
Purpose was and still is to expose girls to careers they might not have thought of. And even if they knew there was such a thing as a lawyer or a veterinarian, they might not realize that women can do those jobs also, as well as men.
And this program exposes them to these different career paths.
Right. We have at least 10, sometimes more, workshops done by professional career women, everything from veterinary medicine to dentistry to law to theater to pottery to all kinds of arts and STEM programs: science, technology, engineering, and math.
Why is STEM important in bringing STEM to young girls?
Part of it is girls sometimes don't have the confidence to know they can do STEM programs. And if somebody's looking at a career with a good potential for making good money your whole life, that's a pretty safe bet. The STEM areas are only going to be growing in the future.
Let's look at young girls. I have a 6-year-old daughter and I have a junior in high school, soon to be a senior. And I think about their early childhood development and what they're exposed to as little kids. And there's not a lot of exposure for them in that they're exposed to teachers and perhaps nursing. Mm-hmm. Is that the purpose of Girls Can, to expose them to other career options that they might not have exposure to?
Absolutely. They may never have met a woman dentist or a woman veterinarian or a chemical engineer or an employee of NASA, and on and on.
And Girls Can exposes them to this?
Yes. Not just exposes them, but every workshop, see, girls only take 3 workshops in the morning that Girls Can happens, which is normally in March every year. They only have 3 workshops, so the workshops are fairly in-depth, and they have activities they do, like the dentist, Kathleen Cordova, has the girls making casts of their own teeth. So of course they're interested in it because it's about them and their teeth.
It is about them, and it's about their teeth. And a lot of them are at that age too, where they might be looking at whether or not they're going to need braces.
Right. So they spend 50 minutes with a dentist and her staff members, and they learn about all kinds of jobs in dentistry, as well as being a dentist. Or they're in veterinary medicine. That's a very popular workshop also.
What is the most popular workshop that you have?
Veterinary medicine.
Interesting. Why is that?
It's partly, I think, because 6th grade girls love animals. And very often they get to play with animals and do different things with cats and dogs and even exotic animals. So
it's exposure.
It's exposure, and it's a very popular one. So they learn about different careers in veterinary medicine, what it takes to become a vet tech, what it takes to become a veterinarian. Of course, the message that these girls get from every workshop is work hard, stay in school, and pay attention and get good grades. Then you can do anything you want to.
Let's talk about the workshops themselves. Is this a day-long event?
It's actually half a day.
It's half a day only?
Only half a day, but it's very full of activities. They arrive in the morning, they have breakfast, they get a welcome speech. This year and last year, the welcome speech was given by Dr. Renee Scott, president of Doniana Community College. And that's impressive because girls may never have met before a woman college president. So there's that. And then they get a message, and this year was about the first woman to become the pilot of the space, what do you call that?
NASA?
Well,
The space
pilot
program?
of the very important pilot of NASA.
A VIP, a very important pilot.
Yes, yes. And I've never heard so many sixth grade girls be so quiet? There were over 200 girls and many of the parents there, and I'll tell you about parents workshop in a minute. And they listened and they were really, really interested. Then they go off. Oh, and this year we had volunteers from the university and different kinds of student athletes, volleyball players and different student athletes from NMSU. And the athletes had the girls up and exercising before the end of the breakfast. So they were ready to go. And they ran to their workshops, and they get to choose 2 workshops, and then they're assigned a 3rd one, so that they will have a broad variety of things they might not even know they're interested in.
Interesting. So they select 2 workshops, and they have options between dentistry, veterinarian. You also mentioned
chemical engineering, art, theater.
So you still expose them to art and theater in addition to the STEM programs?
You bet we do, yeah.
What's the parents' involvement in all this?
Well, first of all, the parents have to agree to let their girls go, and they sign a permission slip. So the parents have to know and approve of their attending Girls Can. And then also, we encourage all parents to attend the Parents Workshop. And this year we had a Spanish section and an English section of the Parents Workshop, and they were both very popular. We had at least 50 parents there, about half in Spanish and half in English.
Why was it important to involve the Spanish-speaking population in our community?
Because, as you know, Edmundo, there are parents who are more comfortable speaking in Spanish than in English. And we want to make sure they're comfortable and they're prepared to ask questions and talk about the issues. The Parents Workshop is very interactive, as the girls' workshops are too. So we want the parents' involvement and we want them to be comfortable. This year, the Parents Workshop, both of them, were devised by faculty and staff at DACC, and they were wonderful, and they were very well received.
Just out of curiosity, and I don't know if you know the answer to this, but for how many of these parents was this their first opportunity to be on a college campus?
I don't know the answer to that, but I do know that a tour of the campus was included in the Parents Workshop. All of the parents went along on the tour, and of course it's good for the college as it is for Girls Can, because not only the girls but the parents are potential students at the college.
Because the college offers extended...
all kinds of things, including degrees and special workshops, special certification, learning how to be an auto mechanic and be able to work in a local auto mechanic
with a
store.
degree and certification.
Right, from the college.
From a college,
Yep.
which allows them for higher earning potential.
Right.
So these kids are exposed to a college for the very first times in their lives, probably. And so a lot of them must come in with bright eyes, just eager and ready to ask a lot of questions.
Right, and just being at the campus is very impressive. And it's more impressive than just a regular middle school in Las Cruces where we've been having the workshops. Girls Can. And next year will be our 24th year.
24 years. The cost is $5.
Right.
That's very, like to say, doable.
Right.
It includes a breakfast, snacks,
A t-shirt.
and a t-shirt.
Right. Girls Can t-shirt. And if the girls' family can't afford the $5, we have scholarships. So there's no excuse for girls not to go.
How do you go about getting the word out about Girls Can? Because my daughter was exposed to it, and it was primarily through my wife, who has her ear to the ground as to what's going on. But how do you go about getting the word out to the different parts in our community about Girls Can?
Primarily through the schools. We have a school contact team that of AAUW members who are very smart and very hardworking. They start in the summer and they get to know the school counselors in each school district. And you might find this interesting also, that there are more girls from Gadsden Independent School District and Hatch combined than there are from Las Cruces schools.
Now that's very interesting. Why is that?
Partly it's because the school counselors and the teachers in Gadsden and Hatch are really excited about the program. And it's possible that there may not be as many competing events and things to do in the rural areas as there is in Las Cruces.
And it's important for Girls Can to be in these rural areas where there are less opportunities for these girls to have this kind of exposure.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the workshops themselves. There's 3 workshops, 2 that they choose, 1 that they're assigned. What happens in these workshops? What do they hear? What kind of activities occur?
Each workshop has an activity. Like the lawyer, Joy Goldbaum, who put on this year's law workshop, has the girls actually role-playing. So there are some who are lawyers, there are some who are witnesses, there are some who are members of a jury, and they actually get the feel of what it might be like to be a lawyer. Same thing with dentistry. Kathleen Cordova has the students making casts of their own teeth.
So it's not just coming in and hearing a lecture
No,
of like,
it's not a
I am a
lecture.
lawyer and this is what I do.
No, not like that at all. It's very interactive. The nursing workshop has lots of student nurses helping the faculty nurses from DACC who are showing the girls how to take blood pressure and all kinds of things that nurses do. It's very interactive. The veterinary workshops this year, we had 2 sections. We normally have 2 sections of the veterinary workshops, and Carol Callista's people were there, vet techs, veterinarians, lots of activity going on, and they actually had dogs and they were pretending to be vet techs and taking care of the animals.
Okay, so we know that the most popular one is the veterinarian
Yes.
one. What's the second most popular one?
Second most popular, probably theater.
Theater.
It's very active. Bonnie Schranz is the leader of the workshop, and she conducts an acting class. So they learn a lot about acting, they learn something about directing, they get a taste of what it's like to be working in theater or teaching theater.
Why is 6th grade a key time to reach out to these young girls?
A lot of people ask that question. And people say, isn't it too early to get them thinking about careers? The answer is no. It's not too early, because that is about the time when girls decide in their own mind, I want to have a career, or I want to marry the boy next door and stay home and have kids and let him worry about a career. It's a very pivotal time in a girl's life. And by being there and helping to influence their choices, we feel that Girls Can and even other programs of AAUW are helping to make positive changes in the lives of young women.
Why is it important to have the parents' involvement? Because like many activities that happen in schools, parents sign off, the kid goes off to a field trip, and that's that. In this, you encourage the parents to come and participate. Why is that important?
Well, because not all parents are as involved as you and your wife in helping your daughters, to even the 6-year-old daughter, to understand that it's important they think about a career. Not every young girl gets that message. So they come, their eyes are opened, they are excited that, gosh, they like animals. Why not be a veterinarian? Or they think they might like to be a dental hygienist, and they come away thinking, well, I could be a dentist.
So it's
just
going
opens their
beyond
eyes.
the introduction to some of these careers, but looking at the bigger picture of, I could be the one, I could be the doctor, I could be the scientist.
I could be the one making more money.
And that's key.
It should be. Yeah.
How surprised are you by a parent's reaction, or do you get parents that have never gone to college themselves and are looking at their daughters and getting them to push them to realize that college is equally as important for the girls in addition to the boys?
For many people, as you know, college is as important now as high school used to be in the old days. And we are pleased to see parents pushing their girls to come to Girls Can, pushing them to apply for scholarships if they are STEM oriented and really like science, technology, engineering, and math. It's exciting to see parents saying, I believe you could do that. So why don't you apply to Tech Trek and see if your math teacher will nominate you in 7th grade and go the summer before 8th grade. And it's a very select group. And we don't necessarily select the girls who are into everything. We have girls in Tech Trek from an Indian pueblo who have never had science experiments in their classrooms. Those are the girls that need to go to Tech Trek.
What challenges does Girls Can face in our community as far as growth and potential?
Probably if we keep growing and if we keep having it at Doñana Community College, we'll need to figure out how to have 2 sections of breakfast, because we just might be about to exceed the limits of how many people are allowed in that big room at one time.
I see.
And that's a good problem to have. And this first year at DACC was a wonderful experiment, and we're hoping there will be many more years there, because it's a good match and it's a good fit for both the college and for the program.
You've been involved with Girls Can for 8 years now. How has it evolved in those 8 years for you? How have you seen it grow?
Well, it's grown in the number of people, number of students going. It's grown in the interest. We have a lot of people, professional career women, who want to give workshops at Girls Can. And actually we have more than we can choose. So we tend to choose the workshops that have the most highly qualified career women who have experience giving workshops to students and who will definitely have an activity like young girls pretending they're nurses learning how to take blood pressure.
Let's talk about the volunteers that come in, the workshop presenters. How do you go about finding them, and how hard is it to get them to say yes to come to this?
It's not that hard to get them to say yes. The hard thing is selecting who should be invited. And so I have a committee that I work with, because I don't want that responsibility myself. And we have some of our presenters are AAUW members, some are women who work at the university and in the greater community like NASA. We also have volunteers from the federally employed women. They call themselves the Few. We have them every year. We have volunteers from Seroptimus. Seroptimus Club, a women's club in Las Cruces, is involved by giving donations and volunteers every year. They're wonderful. We have volunteers from the university, student athletes, women on scholarships. They come to the breakfast. They sit with the young girls at their breakfast and they talk to them about what it's like to go to the university or what it's like to go to the community college, and encourage them to get the most out of their day at Girls Can.
So once again, to recap, it's $5 to attend and it's held in March. And you said there's a scholarship available for girls, for parents that can't afford the $5. So in a lot of ways, there's no excuse not to send your daughters to Girls Can.
Exactly. The easiest way for people to sign up their girls who may be going into 6th grade next year is through the middle school. It's middle school in Las Cruces, elementary schools in Hatch and Gadsden, where the 6th grades are located. And we sign them up through the schools. Now, of course, we have homeschooled students, so we work hard to get the word out through public media, through social media, so that parents who may not be sending their kids to the public schools can send their kids to Girls Can.
Ann McCullough, thank you very much for joining us on Fronteras y Changing America. And good luck.
Thank you very much.
I'm Edmundo Resendez. Thank you for joining us on Fronteras y Changing America.